Well, hello everyone. It's been quite a while since I've actually made a video of the layout. There have been a lot of improvements and upgrades since the last time I posted one up here. Today is September the 28th, 2014, and yesterday we hosted the Winnebago Land Division fall meet to the trains. I don't believe this wall was here the last time. And neither was any of this wainscoting down here. Well, let's take a walk through the basement and through the layout. You'll probably remember the 9-turn helix that starts out at a 10-track staging yard on the sub-level. And the 9-turn helix then serves the first and second level. I do have skirting on everything. It's actually the cheap anti-weed growing mat that you can put down in your gardens to prevent weed growth. It's on the thin side, but it's a nice cover for right now. We'll just head down this aisle here. I did put out a couple of gratuitous self-promotional objects on the workbench. This workbench was not here during the first video. This came from upstairs. It was our old computer desk, and it fit very well down here. So let's just take a walk down this way. I have started some scenery. I do have some landforms. Not complete. I have a long ways to go. I have 3 small children, 9, 7, and 6, and they keep me hopping. So my time is limited, and when I get down here, I get down here. We have had an operating session, just one. It was a beta tester, and I found a couple of things that needed, tweaking, and we'll make the adjustments, and we'll have a better operating session next time. I plan on modeling the fall, and I do have a scene where I do have a lot of fall trees planted already. And that would be over here by the Otto Miller farm. I still need fencing and corral fence and some other things to bring this to a little bit more state of realism. An apple orchard out here would be nice. Pumpkin patch since it is fall. And a little bit better scenery. Perhaps some static grass, and of course I have to finish off the Bad River here. That'll be that's between Ashland and Saxon, Wisconsin. Some of my light bulbs are a little, there we go, they're a little freaky. So let's just go down towards Saxon, shall we, from Ashland. Just cross the Bad River and we're coming down to Saxon. We have the Mackey Brothers Lumber Company. We have a team track back there, McClanahan Seed and Feed, and St. Ange Mobile and Oil. And I'm developing this area here. There's a salvage yard that will be back there. The road crossing the track here, obviously. And then we come over, we cross a Sioux line here at Iron Belt, where we have the Pinoki Taconite Pallet Plant. And we have a stable of 3 locomotives, all sisters, here at the loadout, loading an ore train. And the basic building, the basic structure in the background against the backdrop there is 1.5-inch pink extruded styrofoam. I had a 16 by 8 foot piece, and it seemed to work out real well. And everything else here is Walthers and a little bit of kit bashing. There will be a tailings pile over against right below that conveyor there. And yeah, we'll just take in a quick walk around. There will be a road that will be elevated over the tracks here, and roadway back in here. All these houses will be up at level, that same level. These 3 cabooses I purchased from Jim Hediger from Model Railroader magazine yesterday. He was our guest speaker. And another section that's Got the base scenery on it. Had I had the trees, this would have been finished by now. And at the town of Mercer, we had the C&W interchange, the large Mercer foundry. In the foreground here is the scrap metal track for unloading scrap metal for the foundry. We have the Midwest Cheese, Loon City Canning, DL Josh Lumberyard. In the back there, I'm not really sure what I'm going to have yet. It's just a mishmash. And over here, we have the Skelgas propane dealership. And down here will be the McClanahan farm. I have to cut that bridge in, then I can carve the scenery in this area. And then get that covered as well. Oh, we have a nice little spider on the backdrop there. I have a lot of critters down here. This is Lemieux Pulp Yard at Sukanen Switch. As you can see, there's a lot of pink insulation here. We come over to the the town site of Pitt. It's not actually a town site, it's an industrial location. On the last video, I had talked about there being a bowl effect behind the scenery here. This would not be here. And the top of the bowl of the helix here, which is a 5-turn helix, would actually be the gravel pit. Well, I've changed that. The gravel pit will be off the layout, and there will be a conveyor system between this building and this building, crossing the track. Try to hide a little bit of the hole in the backdrop, and I'll disguise that as well. And then the pit will be right off the backdrop, or off the layout, I mean. Coming down grade to the lower level from the helix, we come out around the curve here to Milwaukee Junction, where we have Great Lakes Gas and Oil, interchange with the Milwaukee Road, main and passing siding into Sainer, Wisconsin. And at Sainer, I'm developing the Sainer Cement Company, along with a rotary dumper. There's a job that I'll be working out of here called the Pit Run, or Pit Run Gravel. Coming out of Sainer, we start up grade, be passing Red Bill Lake. My sister-in-law is a loony, meaning that she loves loons, and a red bill loon is a specific, breed of loon. Mercer, Wisconsin has a loon fest, so I included that, and then called that canning company the Loon City Canning. Here we cross the Lower Decunder Bridge. That is Dukandar. At one time, this cold air return duct used to come straight across and at a 90 degrees straight up. And we had to duck under that every single time through here. So when I had a new furnace installed, I asked them to do this, and they did. And I have a free walk through the aisle here. So we still have the Lower Decunder River. And coming down the line, the furnace is back there. And in the foreground here, we are developing a pull-out access so we can get in there and work on the furnace if need be. On the lower level here, we have Eagle River. We'll be having Burnett's Building Supplies, Farmers Co-op, Farley Feed and Fertilizer, Land O'Lakes Cheese. There's a lot of neat little switching in this town. And luckily I have enough length for my sidings, so we can run 30 plus trains, 30 plus car trains. Back there will be the Cosma farm. Those were built for me by a friend of mine named John Cosma, who owns the Gypsy Trolley Lines, which was featured in Model Railroader magazine. He makes his buildings out of cardstock. At Eagle River Junction, we interchange with the C&W one more time. And coming down the line, we have another spur here at Josh Spur. I do like pulp. Coming down into Long Lake, this will be a scene reminiscent of Lake George on the New England, Berkshire, and Western layout. A little smaller, a little more compressed. There will be an iron bridge, small iron bridge across it, and riprap along the sides. One more time with interchange, the C&W at Long Lake, Wisconsin. And that'll be the interchange track back there. And the Pike River Lumber Company. Now, the Pike River Lumber Company does actually exist in Long Lake, Wisconsin. And coming down the road here, we make the big swing around the curve and into the helix. Once all the bench work is covered up with scenery, I still need to be able to look at my staging yard and my reverse loop. So I do have this 4-way split screen and 4 cameras. This one being the inside of the helix, this being the lead of the staging yard, the end of the staging yard, and this right here is a switch for my reversing loop. My reversing loop actually is underneath this peninsula. It's 46 feet in length. The staging yard goes from the back of this lake completely down around the corner here, around the curve, and sneaks in underneath there. It's 10 tracks. It is double-ended, and it's controlled by this diode matrix knob here. It is wired so if I have 10 tracks. If I want track 5, I just turn this to number 5, and the route is automatically routed through tortoise switch machines. It's basically a really crude, rudimentary type of computer. It's a whole bunch of diodes on a board wired by a friend of mine, and I did an excellent job. I just give you an indication of what the staging yard looks like. It is on a curve, and we do have about 30 feet of length in there for each track. The layout runs very well. We use the NCE Pro Cab radial throttles. I have 6 of these, and they are all used during an operating session. I have developed a scheme of events, which someday I'll make a video on. But for now, we can just sit back and kind of enjoy the layout and some of the scenery, and I'll just take a quick overview again. The building, or the room itself, is 46 by 17. The layout is 43 by 17. I needed a walkway to get in here without a duck under. And I do a lot of photography, model rail photography. A lot of this stuff has been published in Model Railroader or Railroad Model Craftsman, classic toy trains. I do a lot of featured layout articles, and I hope to do a lot more, including mine someday, if I ever get that far. Oh, the other thing that I had mentioned on my first video is that I was going to move. Obviously, I haven't. That house deal fell through. But if I do move, I have some plans, perhaps, of switching gauges and starting over in ON30. I have developed a fleet. I'm a little short on cars yet, but it will be logging, and it'll be going from a Great Lakes port to a standard gauge railroad in Menominee County, Michigan. It will be called the Stevenson, Cedar River, and Eastern. So we'll see what the future brings there. And it all depends on if I have a smaller space that I have to work with, or and it'll be a single level layout. I've built 2 double deck layouts now, and that's double the scenery, double the track, and I'm 55 years old. Do I want to tackle one more last large layout, or do I want to tackle something that'll be, Craftsman kits and wonderful steam sound, and something that really can light up the imagination and really give you those goosebumps. HO scale is my favorite. It really is. I love HO scale. I've been in it all my life, and if I can stay here, I will. But who knows? Who knows what the future brings? So, for now, I just like to introduce myself. I am Dave Rickaby, and thank you for visiting my layout.